Welcome to the Wonder With Me podcast, where I, Dr. Tonia Winchester, invite you to get curious with me about all things mind-body healing, especially how we can unlock the incredible healing power of our unconscious minds, so that we can all get out of stress mode and go back into healing mode. We'll talk about how you can easily create healthy, sustainable self-care habits so that you can calm your mind, sleep deeply, wake rested, and enjoy happy, energized days. Ultimately, so that you can make a bigger difference in your well-being and that of your family and the world around you. These casual chats are for educational purposes only and don't constitute a therapeutic relationship. With all that said, let's get this episode underway. Come wonder with me. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. It has been a minute since I recorded an episode because I have been involved in some other projects, which I will be talking about in this particular episode. I guess then this is technically season 2. This is episode 34. Thinking Kindly. Now, I'm going to be reading you an excerpt from my new book, which is called Thinking Kindly, 7 Ways to Stop Self-Criticism and Change Negative Thoughts into Positive Ones. Why did I write this book? Because I get so sad when I hear people talk about themselves in such a negative way. I get so sad when I hear people losing hope when it comes to their own wellness, because what we know in research is that the thoughts we think matter, the words we say matter. I love language, being an NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming, master practitioner and coach. I love how the language we use can not only express how we're experiencing our world, but also influence how we experience our world. And if we change our language and change our thinking, we can actually change the outcomes that we're getting in our lives. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get wondering. I'm going to be reading you the introduction of the book because I like to keep these episodes nice and bite-sized so that you can listen in while you're making your daily commute, or you can listen in while you're waiting for your kids to finish up a dance practice or soccer practice or whatever it is that they're getting up to. So let's go. Thinking Kindly. More and more people are thinking about their own thinking. And that's a good thing, because the first step to heal anything is to think about it. While writing the first draft of this book, one morning I woke to find the power had gone out. It was back on, but the internet hadn't returned. Perhaps there was a tree down on the line somewhere. It wasn't that windy, but there sure was a lot of snow. Here on BC's west coast, I don't consider where I live to be a wintry place compared to other places in Canada. We mostly get rain, but this morning we were deeply buried under 14 inches of snow. And that's how it can be with our negative thoughts as well. We might not think of ourselves as a negative person. We might think of ourselves as a very positive person and open-hearted and supportive and kind and helpful. Maybe that's true on the outside, but is it true on the inside? Do we talk to ourselves like we think we express ourselves to people on the outside? I'm not sure if I do this 100% of the time, and it's okay if you're not sure either. It's also okay if you're like me, or like a lot of the people I know socially and professionally, and you're aware of a conflict within you. It's as if you're not feeling aligned or in tune or okay with who you are. But you want to be. You want to be your own biggest cheerleader. You want to pat yourself on the back like you do to the people you care about. You want to be grateful for your own amazing beingness, and you want to be in the flow with what feels good. Do I have that right? It might seem like there is something sticky in the way of all of that. It's like molasses, and when you've tried to change in the past, it slowly pulls you back to old patterns of how things have been. Or maybe it's like those gooey toy hands you fling at windows and they stretch out. and then come snapping back at you. We bitch at ourselves, judge ourselves, scold ourselves, punish ourselves, abuse ourselves. We put on a good face to celebrate, congratulate, and compliment everyone else, and we manage to skip the one person who really needs it the most: ourselves. I'm fascinated by these patterns in human psychology. I'm intrigued by a specific split second inside our unconscious minds where we decide to make positive, self-affirming choices for our health and our well-being. I love helping people make better decisions for themselves. And as we'll see later on in this book, it all starts with our thoughts. It's a top-down approach. And that's exactly what this book is all about. I'll show you how to change your thought patterns and rewire your neurology in the tiny, crucial moments throughout your day, and invite you to love and care for yourself. These micro moments are the places we need to focus on if we really want to heal our body and our lives. This is where we get to re-establish ourselves as the leaders in our own lives. We get to step into the driver's seat of our own life bus. This is where we change our negative thoughts into positive ones. Truly helpful, supportive, and loving thoughts. Just like we've been giving to the people around us for so long. I will give you a step-by-step process for going from, frig, I'm swearing at myself again, to, wow, what a beautiful and delightful creature I am. Imagine for a moment that you're on a path in the forest of your choosing and you come to a fork in the road. You notice the main path is the one most directly in front of you. It's dark, prickly, with brush, and it smells like the neighborhood thrift store. Decades of buildup of the remnants of discarded items tossed aside. This path is wider than the other, and the terrain is smoother, and you can tell it's well worn. You've been walking there a long time. It's tempting to continue this way because it's so eerily familiar. But slightly off to one side is another option. It's a smaller path that is less worn. There's only the odd footprint or indication of previous engagement, and you notice the vegetation is different. A lighter shade of green. New life exists there. It seems full of buoyant potential. You're noticing a pull to explore that one. You notice a yearning, a calling to veer off the beaten path and explore something new. Even though it's windier, it's also brighter, like there's a light at the end. It's so contrary to the original path, and yet it's magnetizing you towards it. You decide to go for it. You take your first step onto this new, fresh path, and it's as if it's been waiting for you all of this time. You take a full, relaxed, deep breath for the first time in years or decades. And something inside you says, keep going, sweetheart. True freedom awaits. Thought facts. Did you know that it's estimated that we think about 60,000 thoughts per day? And if we're counting and doing quick math, that is 60,000 thoughts per day divided by 24 hours per day divided by 60 minutes per hour divided by 60 seconds per minute equals 0.6944 thoughts per second, meaning we have one thought every 1.5 seconds. Imagine someone thwomping you on the back of the head every 1.5 seconds. Thwomp. 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 If that was happening to you, you'd start to get defensive, wouldn't you? You'd say, stop, what are you doing? Leave me alone. I don't like that. Give it up. What the hell? Or even, and rightly so, WTF. You wouldn't put up with it, would you? And yet you don't seem to question, to disrupt the pattern or protect yourself against your mean and judgmental thoughts. No. If you're like most of the people I've worked with, you just sit there and unquestionably agree with them. Why is this so? Why do we tolerate and even accept jerky thoughts about ourselves when we wouldn't take that pace of physical abuse? Could it be that our judgmental thoughts are the same as physical violence? To be direct and potentially dramatic, it's safe to say that negative thinking is killing you. Scientists have been studying the power of positive thinking for some time, and not only does thinking more kindly help us feel good emotionally, feel more grounded, more confident, there are objective, aka things that can be measured, clinical and medical changes that occur when we switch our thinking from negativity to positivity. The Mayo Clinic posted an article called Positive Thinking: Stop Negative Self-Talk to Reduce Stress, and in it they list the health benefits of positive thinking, which may include increased lifespan, lower rates of depression, lower rates of distress and pain, greater resistance to illness, better psychological and physical well-being, better cardiovascular health, and reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease and stroke, reduced risk of death from cancer, reduced risk of death from respiratory conditions, reduced risk of death from infections, better coping skills during hardships and times of stress. See? Even though I was being a tad dramatic so I could catch your attention, I wasn't lying. Positive thinking decreases our risk of death from several sources. Over decades in the self-help and healing profession as a naturopathic doctor and a mind-body healing coach, I've thought a lot about how crucial it is for us to think good thoughts about ourselves and our ability to heal. Like, a lot. I've thought a lot about it because I've seen time and time again how what we think drives what we feel, how what we feel drives what we do, and the benefits or problems that come as a result. I've been there when people have been convinced that there is no hope for them in their healing journey or turning things around in their lives. Often when we meet, they feel defeated and hopeless, and you may know exactly what I'm talking about. The agony of thoughts about your worth, value, validity, lovability. The torment of intrusive ideas about who's better than you and by how much and how so. I've seen the utter desperation of people that torture themselves with self-critical thoughts. I've witnessed how these trappings inside their own mind ripples out to negatively impact their well-being, their relationships, career success, and financial abundance. And that's the real kicker, isn't it? You and I both know that it's not just the negative or judgment thoughts that are an issue. There's a deeper problem playing itself out over and over again. These thoughts are like viruses that affect everything in our lives, like our ability to take care of ourselves, heal our bodies, and connect with the people that we love the most. Take yourself into the very first moment of your day. Imagine the alarm goes off and you're there lying awake in bed and you're orienting to suddenly being conscious of the day ahead. What is your first thought when you wake up? Is it a drag? Berating you with what you missed yesterday, what you should be doing today? Do you start chastising yourself for your perceived fatal flaws and downfalls? Or is your first thought kind? Is it helpful? Is it positive? And what if it were? What would that mean for you in your life, for your health, your relationships? Just as I've seen the dire consequences of negative thoughts on wellness and in all areas of life, I've also seen what happens when people practice the steps and ideas in this book. I've been amazed at all the incredible things that shift when the words they say in their own minds go from being downright jerks to kind, helpful, happy thoughts. Wounds heal. Hormones normalize. Metabolism increases, sleep deepens, hearts mend, relationships grow and blossom, dreams come true. Bank accounts fill up. Wait, I'm getting excited and maybe ahead of myself because here's the good news. Those jerky thoughts, the ones that follow you around like skunk stench, none of it's real. As we'll cover early on in this book, your thoughts don't mean much and are actually made up. Thoughts are not real. Not the bad ones or the good ones. Science is showing us more and more about how our minds are constantly making up stories in the form of conscious thoughts. Those stories can shape our ability to heal in all areas of our lives. We might as well make up good stories to help us focus on the feelings and outcomes that we want. When I work with people to change their minds about their thinking, we often start in a place that seems rather awful. Commonly, at the root cause level, there's a belief that they're not worthy, good, lovable, or valuable. How heartbreaking. We're up against a lot as human beings, and the tapes we play inside our own minds don't really make it any better and probably make it worse. There's this lovely folk indie band who lives close to me called Wes My Friend. Side note, this is not actually part of the introduction to the book, but Wes My Friend is the band who plays the music at the intro and outro of this very podcast. Anyways, back to the book. They have this awesome song called The No Good Monster, and the song opens with this verse. I don't want to write a song today. Each new chord's a picture window in the way, because every door I open up is one more door that you could choose to shut, and the no good monster will hate it anyway. This song is such a great example of what we're up against as human beings. The no good monster lives inside of us and is constantly giving us every reason why we should shut ourselves down and shut ourselves up and stop what we're doing or never begin in the first place. And it's not real. Even though it feels very real, it's not real. And just because you think you're a bad person doesn't mean you are a bad person. If you want proof of this, no bad person picks up a book called Thinking Kindly. Therefore, ipso facto, this means you're a good person. And more good news, you're a good person who only thinks you're a bad person. And the reason you think you're a bad person is because at some point, or in many points in your timeline, early on, you decided unconsciously that believing you're a bad person gave you some sort of advantage. Based on what was going on around you, you simply made an interpretation to meet a specific need, and over time you practiced that interpretation and habituated it. We'll dive deeply into how this happens in the following sections of this book. For now, the purpose of this introduction is to begin to recognize that deep down you know you're a good person who might just have some bad thoughts, right? And I get it. If part of you thinks you're a bad person, it can be easy to believe. Doubt can creep in. Our thoughts can be very convincing because the brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what we think, believe, or imagine. It can seem like our negative thoughts about ourselves are ironclad with no room for argument, nuance, or discrepancy. It can be hard to question what we think and believe about ourselves. Is the ultimate truth to end all truths? Darn. And this means that we don't even question it. Double darn. But I know at some level you are questioning it, again because you've grabbed this book, listening to this podcast. Some part of you wants to shed the doubt and be certain of your goodness, doesn't it? So how do you know what's real and what thoughts to believe? And how do you discern those from what you learned at some point and practice for a lot of your life? There are 2 litmus tests for this exact thing. 1. Did you come out of the womb thinking or believing this? 2. Did you wake up in the morning and consciously decide to think and believe these things and suffer the downstream consequences of doing that? The answer to both of these questions is irrefutably no, isn't it? You are not your thoughts, and you are not your beliefs. These have simply been things that you've learned over your life and practiced really well and become really good at. And know this. Anything learned can be unlearned, and new patterns can be practiced and exercised, and you'll get really good at believing that you're really good. This is more good news, not only for you, but for your family and your community. This book will help you do this exact thing. You will learn to not only think about your thinking, but shift it so that you're your best advocate, support, helper, and cheerleader. Because I know from personal experience that working with thousands of people over the last 2 decades in practice that our minds are capable of incredible things, powerful healing things. And you can do this. For now, you can lean on me as your cheerleader, and by the end of these pages, you'll be an expert on your own personal pep talks and be your own best supporter. Sound good? Let's go and get thinking kindly. So there you have it, the introduction to Thinking Kindly, 7 steps to stop self-criticism and change negative thoughts into positive ones. She's going to be launching on May 1st. Very soon, there will be information coming out about pre-sales. And if you're wanting to be part of that early adopter wave of people, reach out to us at toniawinchester.com. There's a chat box there. You can drop us a note and we'll make sure that we flag you in our system so that you can be the first to know. And if you have any questions about how you can take this work and apply it to your own life in a one-on-one way, this is exactly what I help people do, is I help people change their thinking, rewire their neurology so that they're primed for well-being, health, love, success, whatever it is they desire. So more information about that, mind-body healing, coaching, again, you can find at toniawinchester.com. Thank you so much for listening, and may you choose to make all of your dreams come true. Hey, thanks for wondering with me today. If you've got something good out of this, then please forward this episode along to the people who you know could benefit. Be sure to subscribe, and if you're really keen, you leaving us a rating and review helps us to help more people, so thank you in advance for that. If you're wanting more insights about how you can leverage the power of your unconscious mind to go back into healing mode, head on over to toniawinchester.com, where you'll find my book, Breakthrough the Insomnia Cycle, and other helpful ideas. Thanks again, and we'll connect on the next episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. In the meantime, may you choose to make all of your dreams come true.